be allowed in any examination center as part of the efforts aimed at curbing leakage of the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination. Now, this comes as the police were allowed 10 more days to detain suspected or a suspect involved in examination fraud. George Maringa with that update.
Police have been allowed 10 more days to detain suspects involved in leaking Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE exam papers. The three suspects, James Sumo Obongo, Justus Kimurgor, and Kevin Kiprotich Langat, were presented at a Milimani court under a miscellaneous application following their arrest last week. The court granted police the 10 days as they continue with their investigations with the view of arresting more suspects they believe are behind the syndicate that has been denting the credibility of the national examination. Detectives attached to Kenya National Examinations Council (NEC), disguised as students in need of the exams, arrested suspects who were caught selling the papers and answering exam questions on behalf of KCSE candidates. Two are students at Rongo University, while the other suspect is an IT student at Baringo Technical College. While requesting for more time, the detectives said the main mastermind of the syndicate was still at large. In the police affidavit, it stated that the suspects had formed a group known as Kali Group and created under the name Bailing Out, which they used to spread the leaked exams. The group, according to police, has 70 members. Police added that the suspects have been in constant contact and communication with their quote-unquote clients and have been charging as low as 500 shillings per paper. Speaking in Kisumu, Magoha claimed that some rogue invigilators and supervisors could be the ones who have been sharing screenshots of exam papers.
We have now come to a very painful conclusion that we do not need cell phones in examination centers, except 2 cell phones for emergency purposes, one that shall be with the head, with the center manager, and another one with one of the security men. The reason being, there could be something that is interactive, a child may fall sick, and there may be need for communication.
Meanwhile, at least 1.2 million...
Do you ever feel like you're being watched? You are. The browser you're using is allowing your behavior to be exploited and monitored. Some websites allow over 100 trackers to latch on and follow your every move. You don't even know who these trackers are or where these details of your life are going. But I'm not letting that happen to me or my family. That's why I use Brave Browser, because Brave doesn't collect my browsing data. In fact, my data never leaves my device. Brave shields against malware, auto-playing videos, phishing attempts, fingerprinting, and other malicious attempts to steal and exploit you and your family's sensitive information. So if you're tired of being tracked, having your information public, and being served invasive ads, download Brave today. Experience privacy the way the internet was meant to be. How does Brave guarantee privacy? Brave is optimized for security, privacy law compliant, and open source to provide greater accountability for its users. And don't take my word for it. How about USA Today, The Verge, CoinDesk, CNET, Forbes, Wired? And Brave does this all for free. No extensions necessary. And you can import your bookmarks with one click. So join the 8 million active users and download Brave today, and in 60 seconds, you'll have your right to privacy restored. Yesterday was about big tech. Today is about us.
Students who sat their KCPE will receive their results this week on Wednesday, the 23rd of March. Professor Magoha has during this exam season dismissed claims of leakage, saying the only threat is early exposure of the papers. George Maringa, KTN News.
And now to a trending topic that has continued to elicit quite some reactions across the country. Mobile phone service provider Safaricom is battling a proposed plan by the central bank to separate Safaricom from M-Pesa in a move geared towards ensuring payment providers comply with product simplicity, pricing, and resolution of customer complaints. Now, KTN's Brenda Kerubo tells us why the common man may just be in for cheaper charges as well as easy access to mobile money services if that proposal sails through.
In 2007, with CBK's guidance and approval, a major milestone was reached with the introduction of mobile money through the launch of M-Pesa by Safaricom, Other players in the market followed suit by rolling out mobile money services such as Zap, presently Airtel Money, UCash and Tcash. Today, Safaricom controls a substantial market share, standing at about 99.9% of the mobile money market. 1 month active M-Pesa customers grew to 28.31 million in the financial year 2021, while the number of M-Pesa agents increased to 248,000. At the same time, the number of 1 month active Lipana M-Pesa tills grew to 302,000 in the financial year 2021.
It has made my work easy because this customer of mine who doesn't have cash will be able to pay me through via M-Pesa.
Mobile money channels continue to support a wide range of transactions, including sending and receiving money, paying for daily expenses, medical bills, and so on. However, Central Bank of Kenya argues there is still room for improvement in terms of how Kenyans use cash and non-cash instruments.
Sasa sisi leo mambo na pesa, mnaongea na customer weka pesa kwa M-Pesa, wakati anaweka mkiwachana namna hii tu, pesa imesharudishwa reverse. Imeenda. Ni uwezi ujue mtu ametoka wapi na pengine ni shilingi kamia kumpata inakuwa ni vigumu.
Times when actually I needed cash, then customer has opted to pay me through M-Pesa, then I want to withdraw this cash as now. So you will find that I will have to wait until the delay is over.
CBK wants telecom operators such as Safaricom to have a separate subsidiary for their mobile financial services from the GSM business, which refers to the primary telecommunications business of data, calls and SMS. The regulator argues this will provide clarity on transactions for the customer and create a stable system that can easily be regulated. It will also create a level playing field due to increased collaboration and cooperation, with a competing factor focusing on service. It is good news, as customers will be able to visit shops and seamlessly transact irrespective of the service provider, whether Safaricom, Telcom or Airtel. The only thing you're competing for is the service, just as easy as making calls to another network. Airtel Africa has already received a standalone license for its mobile money services, which ran under the Airtel Money brand. Telcom is also in the process of doing so. The value of mobile money transactions carried out at agents as a proportion of GDP has increased from 23% in 2010 to 60% in 2021. In terms of absolute performance, in 2021, there were over 2.2 billion transactions with a total value of over 6.9 trillion shillings moved on the mobile money platform. Brenda Kirubo, KTN News.
All right, that's the matter has been on the desk of the Competition Authority of Kenya. Let's see what happens with that proposal. All right, time now to take our first break right here on Kivumbi 2022. Remember, tonight we are talking about the forthcoming party primaries. And of course, we're throwing in party hopping. They have until Friday this week, the 26th, to move to political parties. Otherwise, they'll have to remain as independent candidates. And to help us with this discussion tonight, Eseli Simiyu, Secretary General of DAP Kenya, Simon Kamau, Secretary General ANC Party, and of course, Salome Biako, member of the National Board of Election for the UDA party. That at the top of the hour in about 40 minutes, but we still have a lot of stories coming up for you. Stay with us. We're back in a moment.
Are you probably stuck on how to start off your home ownership journey? Kwamua maono yako na Optiven. Get a piece of land at the Great Oasis Gardens Nanyuki and establish your dream home, a holiday home, an entertainment park, home for sale or for rental. Get your quarter acre, half acre, 1 acre, 5 acres and beyond. Deposit or place an installment of 590k on any of Optiven's projects and get an instant 15k cashback. Call us on 0790 300 300. Kwamua maono yako na Optiven.
Wood helps provide millions of people with clean and safe drinking water, cook food, and build shelter. But wood can do even more. Wood can build skyscrapers and replace plastic. With advances in science, wood is changing how we see the world, how we dress, and how we move in more climate-friendly ways. Through nanotechnology, wood can help us heal and find new cures. Wood is even taking us to space. When forests are managed sustainably, wood is a renewable resource. Choose sustainable wood for people and the planet.
This information has been brought to you courtesy of the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, Kenya Forestry Services, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO.
Hi out there, my name is Charles Mdiwa, the CEO of Stanbic Bank Kenya and South Sudan. Please join me on Trading Bell this Wednesday. Great message around our customer centricity, impact of COVID, and how banks will weather 2022. See you there.
Babe, siku hizi hata uongee unashinda ukismile kwa simu peke yako. Nani anakufurahisha kama sio mimi? Sasa tutawachana.
What? Kuna game iko hapa inaitwa Menyana, real cash.
Ati? Iko na do, unapataje do sasa?
Ingia Play Store, download Menyana, cheza drafts ama chess na players Kenya nzima. Ukishinda, pesa papo hapo. The more you win, the higher you rank. Kuna 20, 30, 50,000 for grabs every month for top 3 ranking players. Plus 50,000 worth of giveaways for most active players. Usibahatishe, cheza Menyana. Menyana, pesa ikuzoee.
Maisha Kilimo inaletwa kwako na Tuko Mbele Pamoja.
(1,871 days of getting up at 5 a.m. turned 2 cows into a dairy. Every day it takes to get where you're going. We're with you. Standard Group. Make today count.
While one South Sudanese national died while 4 others were seriously injured after they were attacked by a mob in Mawanga Estate, that's in the county of Nakuru. It is reported that the mob pounced on the 6 Sudanese nationals, beating them up before setting their house on fire after an altercation over alleged sexual harassment on a Kenyan woman. Now, the Sudanese, however, deny this version of that story. Ibrahim Karanja reports.
Lucky to have been the only one to escape a brutal attack unscathed, Jacob Batur tells of how he made it. This is after an angry mob attacked them inside their house at Zambezi Apartments in Mawanga, Nakuru East.
I went up to the ceiling so that if I can be able to remove the iron sheet so that we can escape from the roof. Yeah.
The Friday evening attack has left one person dead, 3 others admitted at the Nakuru Level 5 hospital, while one in critical condition at the intensive care unit at the Nakuru nursing home.
So throw, just destroy in our house. After that, they will bring a veteran, to go in the house. Lambu nachoma sisi uko ndani. Ambiga nyuma, we are living 6 in number.
My brother, so tulienda kwa duka hapo. Vile tuliingia kwa duka, tukapata madam mwingine hapo kwa duka. So akaanza kututusi. Bila ametutusi yupo, akatoka mbele yetu akaenda kuita Jemo. Jemo akakuja kushika jang, shingo bila alishika jang. So walikuwa na watu wa pikipiki walikuwa hapo kwa duka yake. Bila walikuwa hapo, so mtu mmoja akalinga jang kisho.
The South Sudan embassy in Kenya now demanding for immediate action.
Our ambassador is in contact with the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Kenya. We have also briefed the home. We have briefed Juba. They have taken that up and they have called for calm, not to revenge at that side.
According to the victims, 6 of them lived in this house on the fateful day, but are not aware of what led to the fight, as one amongst them was involved in a fist fight with a neighbor outside. KTN News has, however, established that the brawl might have been started after one of the Sudanese nationals allegedly attempted to sexually assault a married woman. They, however, deny this narrative.
He was complaining that bibi yake imegongwa na mawe. Yeah, somebody was complaining that bibi yangu, nani amegonga bibi yangu na mawe. When we tried to talk to that guy, so there were some people mobilizing outside.
The police have so far remained mum on the matter, even as they commenced investigations. Nakuru East Sub-County Police Commander Elena Kabukuru told The Standard that she was attending a high-level meeting in regards to the matter at the regional offices, since the matter involved 2 countries. Ibrahim Karanja, KTN News.
Now, a day after 2 people were killed in the Kerio Valley, Elgeyo Marakwet County, leaders have condemned the attack and called on the national government to assure the residents of their security. Now, this comes as the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Maalim Mohammed today met security agencies from Laikipia County, where he pledged the government's commitment to ensure that peace prevails in the entire region. As Jeff Mogire now reports, they want the government to find a permanent solution to the perennial cases of banditry in that region.
Leaders and entrepreneurs from Elgeyo Marakwet have criticized the government for failing to protect its citizens. Angered by the Sunday attacks that left 2 dead and 7 injured, the residents say they're living in fear of more attacks in the area.
It is very painful firing people, and the government gives on promising. They cannot speak. And we want to ask His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, are we not in Kenya? So we want to ask such questions and need the government to respond.
The attacks come barely a month after a school bus ferrying students was attacked at Aror. As of now, the national examinations are still on, but might face challenges if peace will not be sustainable.
And there is nothing more important that they can do right now that supersedes securing its people, making sure that they are safe, making sure that students who are actually doing exams in several schools across the valley right now are safe.
Early on Monday, former Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet paid a visit to the victims at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, where he called for amicable solution to the Kerio Valley crisis.
It will only come to an end if we engage in multidisciplinary, we took an all-stakeholder approach to look for durable peace in Kerio Valley.
But a meeting with security agencies from the Rift Valley, the Regional Commissioner Maalim Mohammed observed that thorough engagement with local communities on issues of insecurity that have continued to be experienced in the area will be easily tackled once and for all.
Incident has happened, but we have secured our schools, and our officers are actually mounting enhanced patrols to make sure we also conclude the KCSE incident free.
The Kerio Valley attacks have dented the beautiful sceneries of Elgeyo Marakwet. it has become a cancer that security operators have failed to heal. Residents now want a solution as early as yesterday.
Lakini tungeomba serikali kwamba ikiwa Matiang'i kujua kusema kweli unatupenda na unajua kwamba hao makaidi ambao wanafanya jambo hili wanafaa kufanywa operation.
Year in, year out, Kerio Valley has hit the headlines for all the bad reasons: bloodshed, stock theft, and loss of properties. There is need for a permanent solution for the communities here to live in peace and harmony. Jeff Mogire, KTN News.
Well, trouble is brewing at the lakeside county of Kisumu following reports and recommendations that the Kisumu City local physical land use development plan to change from the tenure from freehold to leasehold, as well as relocating some of the key landmark institutions such as Kisumu Boys and the Kisumu Girls out of the town. Kevin Ogutu with the details from Kisumu.
Kisumu City is likely to get a new face should several proposals in the local physical and land use development plan be adopted by the County Assembly of Kisumu. The plan will see the city divided into 4 zones, with the entire lakefront being dedicated for recreation. But there is already trouble given the proposal to change land tenure from freehold to leasehold. We arrive at Manyata, the extended home of 74-year-old Jai Lokelo. She was married here in 1963, and over the years, this is what she has known as her home. She has already heard about the change in land tenure as proposed in the plans. Regarding this proposal that has been made, I object it. This is because this is the land where we buried my father-in-law, mother-in-law, my 6 children, and several other children of my co-wives. In fact, those who are financially endowed in this family have all been buried here. It is not possible that all of a sudden it will appear like we have leased the land. This is our land. She takes me through the 1/4 acre parcel that she has called home since her youthful days. They recently had a funeral. A daughter-in-law passed on and was buried here in February. Just within Kisumu Central Business District is Taifa Park, a public utility facility that has not been marked as a park in the new plan. It now falls within commercial area, meaning it will be up for development, yet the plans do not give the alternative park.
That park is a people's park owned by the people. The county or the city cannot make a planning decision to change it into a commercial block without consultation with the residents.
Lawyer Joshua Nyamori, who is born in Nyando in Kisumu County, says the proposals are good, but the devil is in the details. To avoid back and forth litigations in court, he suggests that Kisumu County government, Kisumu City, and the people will have to be on the same page. For instance, the plans propose relocation of Kisumu Boys and Kisumu Girls high schools, while remaining mum on the privately owned Aga Khan nursery and primary schools.
The mere fact that somebody could think of removing Kisumu Boys and Kisumu Girls, but retain Aga Khan, because Aga Khan is a high-cost school, is in itself discrimination. And those are things that the public needs to oppose.
Another potential war front will be conversion of all the lakefront land to recreation purposes.
People have land. People have titles that they use for commercial purposes, for residential and for, and for other uses. When you declare blanketly that the entire lakefront is going to be a recreational facility, but you do not give details on what is going to happen to the people who currently have title interests and estates within those areas, then it means that you are putting their interests at danger.
Several residential associations and business establishments had rejected these proposals while submitting the memoranda to the consultants. Kisumu Riat Hills Neighborhood Association, for instance, rejected change of land tenure on the basis that 78% of Kisumu is freehold tenure, and therefore matters of tenure adjustments or remodeling must be subjected to due process. Kisumu County Assembly Land and Physical Development Committee Chairperson George Olwal told KTN News that his committee was still getting views from the public and only issues of consensus will be tabled at the floor of the Assembly. For now, public participation is ongoing and hopefully we will have the dream city as depicted in the proposals. Kevin Ogutu, KTN News in Kisumu.
Oh, very interesting what's happening in the county of Kisumu and Kisumu City, and this definitely is a hot potato going forward. Let's see what happens in the coming days, if they'll approve it or not. See, it's about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. We take yet another break on Kivumbi 2022. When we come back, we'll be doing business. Stay with us.
A better tomorrow. Don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Mbona hii mabati ya kina dad na mam bado inakaa mpya? Na hii nyumba imekuwa hapa for so many years. Na pia umelelewa hapa.
Wow, imagine hata nilikuwa sija notice. Rufus,
wewe ni fundi wangu wa miaka mingi sana. Haya mabati yatadumu kweli?
Huyu kijana nilimwambia anunue mabati ya Dumuzas.
Usibahatishe mabati. Hakikisha umeangalia alama za kudhibitisha Dumuzas halisi. Chagua Dumuzas, mabati inayodumu kudumu. Isitoshe, Dumuzas ndio mabati pekee inayokuja na warranty.
Sitaki tena kubahatisha.
Mabati inayodumu kudumu.
A better tomorrow. Don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Hi out there, my name is Charles Umdiwa, the CEO of Stanbic Bank Kenya and South Sudan. Please join me on Trading Bell this Wednesday. Great message around our customer centricity, impact of COVID, and how banks will weather 2022. See you there.
Since I joined, I have seen progressive change in terms and conditions of service for women. Today, we see ourselves in the Air Force, in the Army, and in the Navy.
Kweli unaona hata serikali inaonyesha kwa kutambua mara ya kwanza ya kwamba katika ngazi za juu ya jeshi hii hata kina mama wanaweza kuchangia na wapewe nguvu.
It is very fulfilling to serve my country in the defense forces.
This, I am proud to state, demonstrates clearly our commitment to engendering the security sector, and more importantly, our resolve to empower and to position our women in positions of leadership.
Mimi niko hapa lakini kule kwangu yule mwenzangu amekuja kuchukuliwa na polisi.
Little did I know niko nimebeba mwizi.
Yangu mimi nataka nirudishe mume wangu.
It's one of the dilemmas which we face.
She has to navigate Nairobi's crazy traffic.
I am deaf but my brain is intact.
Mombasa House was built around 1818.
Research has shown that art can help people with depression.
We don't have like an art background.
Vasectomy as a mode of family planning is more often than not a rarely discussed topic.
I don't support any family planning.
The cactus is making the environment in Laikipia completely inhabitable.
KTN News. Get the whole story.
All right, welcome back. Let's make sense of the shillings and cents. Digital lenders shaming debt defaulters or reporting their names to credit reference bureaus not for paying loans of up to 1,000 shillings now face fines and closure as they officially come under regulations. Now, the Central Bank of Kenya has now published the Digital Credit Providers Regulations 2022, which will require all digital lenders to apply for licenses by September of 2022 or cease operations. Now, the regulations meant to bring digital lenders under formal supervision for the first time also bars them from arbitrarily varying the price of the loans and caps the money they can recover from defaulting customers. Now, CBK regulations expressly bar digital lenders from using threats, violence, or obscene or profane language sent to the customer or customer's reference or contacts for purposes of shaming them in the course of debt collection. Now, Kenya is set to receive about 85.8 billion shillings in funding to improve government finances and support an economy reeling from the effects of the coronavirus pandemic and other measures. Now, the Development Policy Operations Loan, which is on concessional terms at the interest rate of 3%, will help reduce fiscal pressure by making public spending more efficient and transparent, and by reducing the fiscal cost and risk from key state-owned entities. It is the fourth time in 3 years that Kenya has tapped into the DPO facility, bringing the total borrowing to 3.25 billion shillings. Unfair prices in the ride-hailing app Uber are set to rise by 4%, following the rise in fuel prices. On the other hand, Chai Sacco farmers are smiling all the way to the bank after a huge dividend payout. Here is business in brief.
Ride-hailing app Bolt has increased its fare by 4%, aimed at hedging driver earnings on the platform against the 3.9% increase in fuel cost. Under the new rates, Bolt riders will get an additional 47 cents for each kilometer completed on trip. Per kilometer prices on the XL category will increase by 66 cents as these are larger engine cars. Elsewhere, Chai Sacco has reported 13% dividend payout to its shareholders, marking a significant jump compared to last year. The Sacco also announced rebates worth 8.5%. This comes amidst calls for heightened compliance by SACCOs and establishment of central liquidity with shared services platform to boost the SACCO subsector.
SACCO subsector is one of the most vibrant branch of our cooperatives. And you are not only based here in Kenya, actually globally, you are one of the fastest growing subsector in cooperatives. And out of that, that's why you realize we had to, in 2008, we had to enact a specific legislation, that is the Cooperative Service Act, in order to support the growth and development of the SACCO subsector.
And finally, amid revelation that there is a huge inequality in access to professional dental care and advice, Unilever Kenya partnered with the Kenya Dental Association to fight the spread of oral health diseases.
We would like to see the government increase the UHC benefits package to include oral health, and this has been a neglected area. Whatever is there is not adequate. We appreciate what is there, but it's not adequate to cater for the oral health of Kenyans.
Oral diseases have led to an upsurge of chronic ailments such as cancer, chronic lung disease, diabetes, and hypertension. Nokip Kimboy, KTN News.
We all start differently, but we can all start with the strongest protection. Because some start early, others start late. Some from little homes, others from big ones. Some start together, or all on their own.
It doesn't matter how you start, as long as you start strong. With new Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection. Now with fluoride plus arginine for 4 times more strengthening power. So that you can give them the strongest start to their day. Colgate. Start strong, stay strong.
I am valued.
My name is Josephat Ngamau. I'm a director of Kigenga House Limited. There are 2 more directors. My business entails construction and management of this building. We started banking with Family Bank when it was a building society. Actually, Family Bank was a tenant at this building for 23 years. Throughout the journey, we've always had a very good interactive kind of business relationship. When we started building, we also had to change the structure of the building, and we had to get fully financed. about 80% was financed by Family Bank. Interestingly, we've never had an account with any other bank, and we don't intend to. It's good when you've got a trusted partner.
Welcome to the family, your home of all construction and manufacturing needs, because you can always bank on family.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Since I joined, I have seen progressive change in terms and conditions of service for women. Today, we see ourselves in the Air Force, in the Army, and in the Navy.
Kweli unaona hata serikali inaonyesha kwa kutambua mara ya kwanza ya kwamba katika ngazi za juu ya jeshi hii hata kina mama wanaweza kuchangia na wapewe nguvu.
It is very fulfilling to serve my country in the defense forces.
This, I am proud to state, demonstrates clearly our commitment to engendering the security sector, and more importantly, our resolve to empower and to position our women in positions of leadership.
I want you forever, forever and always, through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Finding trouble expressing your love? Subscribe to the Forever and Always tune by dialing *811 *898# and let the message speak for you. Set the mood for love with Skiza. This is KTN News.
And welcome back to the last part of the first hour of Kivumbi 2022. Time now to take to the field. Let's play. Now, Kenyans took center stage at the 37th edition of the LA Marathon, claiming top podium positions in the men's and women's races. Now, John Correa dominated the men's event with a win in 2 hours, 9.07 minutes, while Edwin Kimutai came in 1 minute 35 seconds later as Ethiopia's Bekele Berga finished third. In the women's race, Delvin Merigor took the honors, finishing in the first place after 2 hours 25.03 minutes, while Antonia Kwambia took the runners-up position 5 minutes 9 seconds later. Ethiopia's Eshutu Degefa was third.
They were so close, it was even difficult to get that finish banner across the finish line again.
Wow.
What a race.
Incredible race. Away from that, the Nairobi's Jeffrey Academy has unveiled a 3-year partnership with English Premier League side Southampton in a bid to set up an elite academy. Now, the partnership will see Saints conduct football clinics and also provide opportunities for boys and girls to excel in sports and, of course, their academics.
We're an approach where we want to support players, boys, girls, both on the pitch but off the pitch. So providing the opportunity to engage with our curriculum, our session plans, and our support network with the coaches that will allow them to hopefully support the students at the school, both on the pitch and off the pitch. So while we want to see some success on the pitch.
Away from that, about 50 athletes commenced a 2-day athletes workshop right here in the capital in a bid to be enlightened and empowered so as to ensure their viewpoints remain at the heart of decision making. Now, the initiative by the National Olympic Committee of Kenya Athletes Commission focused on career management, inclusive of topics of maintaining a clean sport and mental health awareness.
What they taught us was basically doping, nutrition,
how to handle the media, how to handle our mental health, which I know we're going to talk about tomorrow. But those are the main things an athlete should know. I've been an athlete since I was maybe 6 years old, and I wish I knew some of these things earlier about nutrition, sleeping right, and a couple of sponsorship. Sponsors, how we can do some courses as an athlete, what you should do as an athlete, yes.
So it's amazing that they organize this as well. Again, I think we should be doing this more because I've learned so much only today. Being mentored by someone like Humphrey Kayange, it's a huge deal. So I'm learning. It's a learning process, and there's still a long way to go, but at least we've started, and it's amazing.
Now, the imbalance caused by socialization, stereotyping, discrimination, unequal distribution of resources, and underrepresentation in decision-making posts continues to edge women out of sports. However, women are slowly coming up to take advantage of available opportunities alongside their male counterparts. Such an example is Janet Amunga, a female coach from Mombasa County, imparting football skills to the Okoa Sasa Youth Football Club.
Mpira imekuwa na mimi toka utotoni, nimeucheza, ikafika mahali injuries zikafanya nikaretire, nikaamua kuendea coaching classes, na ndio mpaka imefika hapa nikajikuta nimeunda team. Being a woman coach, to deal with girls ni more easier than boys, but since it's in me, with the boys nang'ang'ana tu, but ni ngumu sana upate vijana wa kusikize ground. Wengine wanaona like she's a lady, hakuna kitu anaweza tuambia. Wengine ni ngumu pia kupatia kazi, wanaona like you cannot handle the team. But for me, sijai kufa moyo sababu some of the boys hapa nimeanza nao wakiwa class 4, wengine wamemaliza class 8 saizi.
And finally in sports tonight, the San Antonio Spurs pulled off a dramatic 110-108 win over the Golden State Warriors, who are without injured Steph Curry. Now, Keldon Johnson scored off a rebound of a missed free throw with 0.3 seconds left to give Spurs the victory. Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole combined for 52 points, while Josh Richardson led San Antonio with 28 points.
For the lead. Corner the rebound. 1-2 pick and roll. Deep three. Ripped it out. Kuminga trying to save. He does to Wiggins. Foul. Wiggins misses. Looney fighting for it. Oh no! And Malai has a foul! Oh no. Oh. Instead of just a Spurs timeout, it's a Looney rebound foul. He misses. Rebound. Flipped up and in! Keldon Johnson with 3:10 left. Play in and out of his hands, and that will do it.
All right, that's sports for tonight. And of course, we have about 5 minutes to the top of the hour. If you're watching us via KTN Home, it's now a good time to switch to channel 274 on DSTV because KTN News is on air. And when we come back, we have a discussion with two Secretary Generals from two political parties and a member of the National Board of Elections of UDA party. I'll be telling you all about them, but as we take the break, let's get you informed further of some stories making headlines today. Now, as the world gets ready to mark the World Water Day tomorrow, tens of thousands of residents from the drought-hit areas, especially of northern part of the country, have suffered for a long time, water being a very scarce resource in the area and has always been a precious commodity to the pastoralist communities in the arid and semi-arid regions. Now, this has more than once led to resource-based conflicts in those counties. As KTN's Clement Masombo now reports, there seems to be a ray of hope to the residents of Samburu and Marsabit counties after two large water points were put up to help them during the dry season.
With statistics indicating that at least 2.3 million Kenyans in 23 arid and semi-arid counties are affected by drought, the government and other non-governmental organizations have put in place measures to mitigate the effects of drought. The dry spell witnessed between the months of January and March 2022 has forced a number of pastoralists to flee their homes in search for pasture and water for their livestock.
ile usuri ya hii maji ameleta mzuri kwa sababu amekuja hii maji imekuja kwa nyingi.
Women have always suffered the most. Some have to walk for kilometers away from their homes to fetch water for domestic use.
Nini na tofauti tumeona kabisa nini yake dalili yake ni nzuri. Hata wanyama yetu ile ya msituni tunakunya, hata hii sisi tunavuka na kunya.
A visit to Laresoro village in Samburu County, you find a sand dam. This is a water point that was put up by well-wishers a few years ago after the residents complained of severe drought. They had lost their livestock as a result of the drought, but since then, they say, the water point has offered almost a permanent solution to the perennial problem.
Kina pundamilia anakuja zebra.
But it's not just water for their livestock. Wild animals too have benefited from the water project that was constructed with aid from the World Vision, and the locals say they have also witnessed peace since the water project was put up in the area.
Imagine ya community, si ya mtu. Hakuna mtu anasema ni yake. All community yote ya hii area.
The water point has even strengthened their marriages.
Tunachota hii tunaenda kuoga, hata tumekuwa safi. Samani unachota jerikani moja, hawezi pika chakula na hawezi kuoga tena watu. Sasa tunaona basi hii maji imetuletea maendeleo mzuri.
Many kilometers away from Laresoro village in Samburu County lies another project in Dikir village of Marsabit County, the Rock Catchment Site. This was set up by constructing water canals that direct water from the rocks in this village to a common point before the water is directed to large volume water tanks for storage.
We have a rock behind here which is collecting water when there is a rain. Even a one-day rain creates a massive flow of water, which our engineers designed in a way that it collects the water that flows.
Once you open up these activities to mothers, then the benefits, the impacts of this project is seen far and beyond the family household level.
And just like in Laresoro village, the locals here too have every reason to smile for the water project.
Ametusaidia sana. Hata sijui nianze wapi. Kwa maana watoto siku hizi wanakunywa maji kwa karibu. Samani hata watoto walikuwa wanakufa njaa kwa wakati tunaenda kuchukua maji kwa mbali.
The stakeholders say with such water projects in drought-hit areas, Kenya will soon forget the resource-based conflicts witnessed every time the drought season hits.
One of the significant benefit of this project is minimizing resource-based conflict.
If this facility was not here, these women would be walking long distances to fetch water. The livestock could be also just being moved from one area to the other, and you'd find lots of the cattle dying because there's no water.
Lakini sasa hivi tumepata hii maji yetu, tumepata raha sana. Na ni maji safi, watoto wagonjeki. Sasa nilikuwa tunaenda kukunya nugu. Tunagawa nugu mafi ya nugu alafu nakunya maji.
Even as Kenya joins other nations in marking the World Water Day, to pastoralist communities, water still remains a scarce commodity. But it's through such projects that they are still holding on to hope that one day this problem will come to pass. Clement Masombo, KTN News, Marsabit County.
City Marathon, the highest paying marathon in Africa, is back for the 4th edition. Registration for the event, which will be held on the 10th of April 2022, is currently ongoing for the 42.195 kilometer and 5 kilometer races at only 1,200 Kenya shillings. Registration closes on April 7th, 2022. Join us in running for climate action. For registration information and more, visit www.eldoretcitymarathon.co.ke.
Since I joined, I have seen progressive change in terms and conditions of service for women. Today, we see ourselves in the Air Force, in the Army, and in the Navy.
Kweli unaona hata serikali inaonyesha kwa kutambua mara ya kwanza ya kwamba katika ngazi za juu ya jeshi hii hata kina mama wanaweza kuchangia na wapewe nguvu.
It is very fulfilling to serve my country in the defense forces.
This, I am proud to state, demonstrates clearly our commitment to engendering the security sector, and more importantly, our resolve to empower and to position our women in positions of leadership.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
I like listening to you guys. You're the default radio station in my car in the morning. Even the children listen to you guys.
I agree Parliament has failed this country. And I will say it again. We have not done what we should have done.
We know in this country, the Kenya prison sector is one of the most underfunded sector.
The way it is being done and the way we're calling it Huduma Namba the Msema Kweli is because all records will be there. You know, there are people who are now billionaires with no history as to how they got all these assets.
Yes. Anything that the president does that is not in accord with the Constitution is an illegal act. You know, he shouldn't be doing it and he should be sitting here and trying to sort of guise it up.
I totally believe live transmission of results and allowing Kenyans to be able to view all these results. I believe that it will be impossible to steal elections.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
A better tomorrow. Don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Since I joined, I have seen progressive change in terms and conditions of service for women. Today, we see ourselves in the Air Force, in the Army, and in the Navy.
Kweli unaona hata serikali inaonyesha kwa kutambua mara ya kwanza ya kwamba katika ngazi za juu ya jeshi hii hata kina mama wanaweza kuchangia na wapewe nguvu.
It is very fulfilling to serve my country in the defense forces.
This, I am proud to state, demonstrates clearly our commitment to engendering the security sector, and more importantly, our resolve to empower and to position our women in positions of leadership.
Mimi niko hapa lakini kule kwangu yule mwenzangu amekuja kuchukuliwa na polisi.
Little did I know ni kwa mwizi.
Mimi nataka anirudishie mume wangu.
It's one of the dilemmas which we face.
She has to navigate Nairobi's crazy traffic.
I am deaf but my brain is intact.
Mombasa House was built around 1880.
Research has shown that art can help people with depression.
We don't have like an art background.
Vasectomy as a mode of family planning is more often than not a rarely discussed topic.
I don't support any family planning.
The cactus is making the environment in Laikipia completely inhabitable.
You are watching KTN News.
Welcome back to the final hour of Kivumbi 2022. The hashtag for tonight is Kivumbi 2022, and tonight we're talking about nomination headache and party hopping. We're putting political parties to task, at least some of the major political parties in the country. We asked them